Hello. In this video, I'll cover how to build a simple form using Access VBA, as well as I will cover how to transition between tables using macros. So here you can see that I already have a form built, and this will be similar to what the form look like that I'm going to build right now. But just to show you a rough idea of what this will look like, we'll have a welcome button. It says Welcome to Access VBA, and then we'll have two other buttons. One that goes to the first form. Here I have it as depend, and another that goes to a second form, which here I have as insurance. Yeah, so the first thing we'll do is open up a new database, access, and it'll just be a blank database. You can as you wish, but I'll just go with the default name, database 5. And now they already created a table for us. So for the sake of the tutorial, what we'll do is create a second form, a second table. In the create tab, you just go to table, and that'll just another table right here. And then we'll just add, in table 1, we'll just put first table, just so we keep track of the tables. And then in table 2, we'll just put second table. Okay, now that just is, that's just how we'll be starting this tutorial. So we'll have our two tables that we'll transition between. But now getting into the form creation, what we'll do is go to create, the create tab, and then you'll go to form design. And now you'll see this graph up here background that's blank. What you'll want to do now is go to the controls list up here, and then you'll select button. You'll paste that button in this graph, and then a command button wizard will appear, but for now you don't have to worry about any specifications. All you have to do is cancel it. And now the button that you just had come up on screen will just have a default name. You can just click it as you wish, but for now I'll just use the default name. But once you name your button, or if you're using the default name, just right click your button and then go to build event. You'll select the code builder option and then hit OK. Now you'll see a coding menu, a coding page pop up, and you can build a variety of, you can put in a variety of different functions and stuff to build your form as you wish. But for the tutorial, we'll do is we'll type in MSG box, double quotations, and then we'll say welcome to access, and then you'll just hit enter. And notice how the M and the B in each box just got capitalized. That's just a helpful functionality that VBA does, which can be helpful in checking if you made any errors and so forth. So what this will do is this will make the button as I showed you in the beginning of this video, and welcome to access VBA will pop up. But now what you'll do is you'll save this file. Just go right up here and you can just click save. It'll just saving the tables that I created too. So yes, you can name it as you wish, but for now I'll just use the default names. Table 1, table 2, and the form I just created here. And now you can just X off this page. And now we just created our first one. And notice on the left pane, form 1 appeared under forms. Just double click 1 and it'll take you to this page where you can check see if your button works or not. And as you can see, it works. We just created our first button. And now what we want to do is create another button so that we'll be able to transition between tables 1 and table 2. So our next step now is to go to Create tab again, but this time we'll be using macro. And what you'll do is just click on macro. You'll notice like this other page appears, and you'll see like another tab here that says macro 1. You'll click drop down menu and you'll scroll down until you see open table. You select that option. Some specifications will pop up, but it just wants you to put the table name, so you'll just the table names that you have over here. And my first table is table 1. What I want to view on the table is the design, and then I'll save it to the read-only mode because I don't want to edit it once it appears. So now I'll save this macro. I'll just use the default name, and then you notice the macro appears over here in the left pane. I'll create a second macro for my second table. Go down to open table again. This time it'll be table 2. I'll switch the view to design view and read only. Save macro 2. And now, once that is done, I'll return to form 1. Actually, you'll right click form 1 so that you can go to the design view. So this graph will appear again. And then you'll see your controls list again. Click your button again and paste it on the screen. But this time when the command button wizard appears, you want to go to the category section and select miscellaneous. Then go to your action section and select macro. Hit next. Select your macro. This will be macro 1, or if you change the name that you change it. We'll use the text option for now. Next. And you can use a meaningful name so you memorize it. I'll just put macro 1 to name the button. And then I'll select another button, paste it, miscellaneous, run macro, macro 2 this time, next, and then I'll call this one macro 2, same name. I'll just change the name here too, just so we can measure it. Expand it a bit because you can expand it once you click on it and drag the edge of it. Then I'll expand this one a bit so I could see the macro 1. So now, once we double click on our form so that we can use our buttons, we'll have the welcome. Well, let me just change the name of that just so it could be easier for the sake of the tutorial. I'll just call this the welcome button. There we go. So yeah, now we have our welcome button, macro 1 and macro 2. And the welcome button, as I mentioned before, it'll just welcome us to VBA, welcome to Access VBA. Macro 1 will open table 1. That's table 1. And then double click form to open it again. Run macro 2 will open table 2. So there you go. We just created a basic form in Access VBA using buttons and the macro tool to do it.